Despite it being early in the college basketball season, we've already been treated to a top 5 matchup for both teams. So we're looking to avoid going 0-2 on the week. Despite the bluest of bloods coming to town, the Zags punched first, led early, and never trailed. Do I look like I've gotten any sun? Can you guys tell? Don't tell my dermatologist. So in the tournament, you guys beat 3 ranked teams over the course of 4 days. I don't know if there's anything that could have prepped you guys for what's coming up better than that. How much confidence does that give you? To say the 2024 Apple Cup was memorable just doesn't even cover it. This game will go down in history. John Mateer will go down in history. That 4th down stop will be retold for ages. But the Apple Cup trophy may have seen its last on-field action. Zags fans may be dreading a matchup with the team that has always gotten the best of them, or excited for an opportunity at revenge. For better or for worse, the game in November versus Purdue just keeps coming up. The Apple Cup looks different this year in September in an NFL stadium, not as conference opponents, but rivalries are stronger than those factors, and even the new guys know this is a big deal.
You may not have seen redshirt freshman Miles Rice on the court, but you've probably seen or heard him nearby. Cheering on his teammates with a huge smile on his face.
So our internal leadership, certain categories, and Miles scored really high and didn't even play. And so I'm like, okay, he's connected to this group, and they're connected to him.
Rice was set to be the Cougs' point guard last season, but over the summer, things changed.
My auntie noticed my neck was like super huge, and she told my dad that we should get it checked out.
After many different samples were taken from the area around his neck.
Knowing the unknown is about to come to you and you can't really do anything about it, honestly, it's just like one of those things you just have to go through. There's no shortcuts. Just facing the unknown head on and just knowing that you were going to come out on the other side of it was basically my mentality.
The test results came back positive. Rice was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma, cancer.
First, I didn't want to believe it. I called my dad first before I told my mom because it was her birthday. September 12th was her birthday, so I had to tell her on her birthday. After that previous morning, she had asked me about the results. I wasn't really too worried about the results because I didn't think anything was going to come back. So I was like, oh, I'm not worried about it, and I just told her happy birthday. But then later on in the day, I had to actually tell her that, her son was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma. It wasn't easy, but she said, you know what, it's just another hurdle that we had to get over. God got us.
Was there ever a moment you just heard the word cancer and you thought, worst case scenario?
Of course, but I never voiced it because you don't want to put that into the air. But essentially, that's what most people think. You're always going to think about the worst, but you don't want to put it into the air.
All positive thoughts as Rice continued to practice with the team after he got used to the treatment plan.
The coaching staff was like, what's he doing? And we look at the trainer and said, I can do it. And he's still dunking. He's 180s and stuff like that. So he's just anxious to get in there. And I think his teammates pulled him through, and he was an inspiration for all of us. I'm sure our players got tired when they came in dragging a little bit, like, hey, this guy's going through a little more than what you're doing.
It was kind of nerve-wracking at first, I was putting on a strong face for my mom because I didn't want her to worry. Because, if she's worried, then and I'm a worry, and it's not going to be good on either side. My mom was out here, so she made sure even if it was just like some soup, she'll make sure I just eat some soup, stay hydrated. She still wanted me to just go to class. She said, as long as you're just there and you're just being a little attentive, that goes a long way because that shows your professors that you're actually still trying and you're going to put forth the effort. She was staying on top of me. She was like, make sure you don't drop below a certain weight.
Doctors said Miles was progressing more quickly than expected. He could be done by December. That changed. Another bump in the road for Miles, who was already fighting doubts.
Kind of gets in your mind psychologically, is it meant for me? Am I supposed to play? The moment I was able to come back on the court and do a simple layup was the moment that I knew that it was destined for me. Because that layup brought me so much joy in my life that I can't even remember the last time I felt like that. Being away from the game, it kind of hurts me a little bit. I didn't really know, what to really do a little bit, but I have an identity outside of sports. But as of right now, this is my job. This is an opportunity, to help my family get in a better situation. So being able to come back and do that layup was literally everything for me.
Finally came March 9th, the highly anticipated day. Miles got to ring the bell for his final treatment of chemo.
Like one of those things is like a big weight off your shoulder, you know, and like I said, having all those people there for me, it was a wholesome, loving moment. I don't think it really hit me until like recently, June 1st, where I found out I was officially in remission.
On November 18th, Rice will take the court suited up and ready to finally see some playing time.
I might have to let the secret out. I've told him first bucket he gets him, call timeout.
Miles could have gone through this journey in private. He could have fought behind closed doors, but he chose to step into the light.
Why not let the people know that embrace me, let them know what's going on in my life, because like I said, they're essentially my family, away from my family. And, you know, I could always, my story might, you know, inspire somebody that may be going through something. If I can make somebody smile today, then, you know, I'm doing the right thing, because you never know what people's going through. Like a lot of people didn't know that I went through the situation that I went through just based off how I was still being me. You know, so just being able to be me and, you know, put a smile on somebody else's face is what I try to do every day.
Imagine the smiles he'll put on the faces in Pullman when he plays. AJ Howell, SWX. This is Marley. This is Kyle. And this is also Kyle. Marley Canales is a midfielder for Spokane Zephyr. Kyle Karros is an infielder for the Spokane Indians.
I heard that I was coming to Spokane and he was in Spokane. It's just really a small world that we ended up here.
They don't really know each other, but they do know Kyle Cuellar.
I was on the lake or something, Coeur d'Alene, and then Kyle swiped up and was like, no way, I'm coming out to Spokane.
He's Marley's boyfriend and Karros' former college teammate. They all played college ball at UCLA.
Being a different sports, like it's all the same to get to the next level. Like obviously playing at UCLA is a huge honor.
It's not just like if UCLA is a baseball powerhouse or a basketball, you know, it's all the sports.
A small world.
He kind of showed me the ropes of Westwood in a lot of ways.
I feel like the women's soccer team and the UCLA baseball team were super close.
Made smaller by two athletes pursuing their professional dreams.
They've been talking and definitely want to get together and have us go to his games, and hopefully he can come out here to our games.
College didn't exactly bring them together, but Spokane did.
It's so different than any place I've ever been. So we've been exploring, and seeing Zephyr signs around the community has been so cool and exciting.
You'll notice within a couple weeks of playing here, you're going to have people yelling your name, asking for autographs, and they're going to be coming to see you.
As for the blue and gold crossover, it only goes as far as the respective field and pitch.
I would have told you I was going to play in the MLS or something. Like, I loved soccer.
Did not know it was his second best sport. I would love to see him out here. I'd love to see what his level's like. I didn't even come close to ever touching a pitch.
When it comes to Spokane, none of them struck out. AJ Howell, SWX.
8 games to play for the Seattle Mariners, at least in the regular season. They're still fighting for a playoff spot. It's slim, but the chance of catching the third and final wild card spot is still there. They already have a Game 1 win over the Texas Rangers, looking for 2. The Mariners got a strong start offensively in the first, but an even stronger one in the 6th. The game all tied up at 2 runners on for Julio Rodriguez. He sends this ball to right, drives in a run. That same pattern continues for 2 more batters till it's 5-2 M's. The Rangers get within 1 run thanks to a walk, but we won't show you that because it's boring. Top of the 9th, the M's widen the gap on a wild pitch, slightly more exciting, but instead we showed you Julio driving in 2 more runs again there. Big night for him. 8 for the final. Seattle takes this series. 7 regular season games left, so here's a look at the current wild card standings. The Mariners 1.5 games back of that 3rd spot. The college football chaos continues after the Cougs Friday night win. I'll catch you up on today's games later in sports. The Idaho Vandals on the road looking to add to their impressive non-conference resume so far with another win against ranked competition, Abilene Christian. Showcasing the hotter temperatures to the Northerners, but it's the Vandals showing the Wildcats how it's done early on. Quarterback Jack Wagner launches one to Jordan Dwyer. That's good for 6. Staying in the first quarter here, why not air it out some more? Wagner looks deep again. This time it's to Mark Hamper. It's deja vu. The Vandals hold on to the lead in the game despite Abilene Christian coming back to make it a 3-point game. The Vandals get win number 3. Idaho will face another ranked team in UC Davis next week. The Eastern Washington Eagles looking to bounce back from a pair of close losses in a big way, hunting an upset over an FBS program on the road. That's Nevada down in Reno. Now the Wolfpack got on the board first with a 9-play, 73-yard drive that ended with Patrick Garwo III's walk into the end zone right here. The Eagles did get on the board a few times like this, with Michael Wortham to Noah Cronquist. This connection for 42 yards, a little trickery. That score made it 42-16 in the fourth. This one did not go Eastern's way. Nevada wins big. Eastern with a chance to bounce back, hosting Montana next, who just pulled out a win over Western Carolina. The Washington State Cougars took their Friday night game almost into the morning with a thrilling double overtime win over San Jose State. The Cougs made some mistakes, but came out on top after a long night.
Proud of the mentality of our team, and it was work tonight. It was work. I mean, there was midway through the third quarter, I was looking at some faces. I was like, guys, we got 20 minutes of football to play, and just to go out there and do it. So they did. The players did it tonight.
Spokane Velocity FC has moved up to 6th in the USL League One standing. The top 8 make the playoffs. 6 games left in the season. This one versus Forward Madison FC. In this 16th minute, John Murphy Jr. scores the first goal of the night to give Madison the lead. Now they tack on another in the second half, but both sides fighting weather delays. 2-0 Velocity FC falls short in this one. The Spokane Chiefs started the season off right Friday night, an overtime winner to open the year in the win column, facing the Prince George Cougars again. Scoreless in the first period, then in the second, Mathis Preston nets one to put Spokane ahead. Then on the power play, Jet Lois ties it up for the Cougars. Home team feeling pretty good. Then in the third, it's Lois responsible again, this time for the assist to Carlin Dezane's game winner right here. As Prince George takes this one 3-1 the final. Spokane will face Wenatchee at their place on Friday. That's your look at sports.